and we can just walk in Paul Bunyan's big footsteps. Welcome to another Ernie's Journeys, where we answer the question, where will the journey take us? Today, the journey takes us here. We are at the Whitney Brook Trails in Canton, Maine. It is a brisk, cold day. We've had a couple of days of intense rain right around Christmas, and that has washed all the snow away. So the actual name of the trails are the Sue R. Gammon Memorial Walking Trails, named for Sue Gammon, who worked tirelessly to promote the creation and development of the Heritage Park and hiking trails, established in 2008. If you see, I'm right at the entrance to the Whitney Brook Trail. From here, you kind of just take a few moments to walk past the entrance to the trail. Follow the green footsteps. This is 108, and then over there is 140, and this is Cross Street. So you'll actually find the entrance to Whitney Brook Trail in Canton in between 108 and 140 on Cross Street. And from here, you can see Whitney Brook. It's just this tiny little brook. One of the things that I also really like about Whitney Brook Trail is this. It's another giant Adirondack chair. This is actually connected to the same Adirondack chair that we saw out front in Rumford, part of the Paul Bunyan connection that these have. This little sign here tells you all about how Paul Bunyan settled in the river valley. Traveling with his pal Blue, Paul Bunyan set out to explore the western mountains of Maine in an area now called the River Valley. So this is resting Adirondack chair number 8. And it's huge, just like the other ones that we saw. Big enough for Paul Bunyan. And I guess this must be Paul Bunyan's footsteps going this way. So according to MaineTrailFinder.com, this path takes us through rural Canton with fern-carpeted forests, fields of wildflowers, and views of distant mountains. Apparently also views of this pretty rad trailer here. That's neat and kind of random. So this area is a haven for ducks and geese, heron, different kinds of songbirds. I don't know what we'll see. It is the middle of winter. It's a little hilly and uneven, so be sure to watch your step on the trails. So far, it seems like it's pretty well kept. On the ankle buster scale, probably a 1 from what I can tell so far. I like that the trail is very well marked out too. You can see plenty of little trees that have the blue markings to let you know that you're on the trail. So that's good. The trail does appear to be marked with what different types of trees there are. Here's a white pine. And look at this over here. So in our last video, we talked about how receding water creates sheets of ice. Here's a really great example of that. Look at that. So what happens is the water freezes on the surface, and then the water level goes down and just leaves these sheets of ice everywhere. That's neat. And over there you can see the actual brook, and then there are all these little pockets everywhere around here where water tends to puddle and pool. This brook has flooded 8 times in the last century. So little brook, big problems. I just love that. That is really cool. I mean, it's incredibly thin sheet of ice I mean, it's almost like a sheet of pane of glass. That's how thin it is. But yeah, you can see the kind of erratic nature of this brook with the flooding that it causes in places. This is the trail, because you can see where it's marked out, but there's lots of water everywhere. So that could be a potential hazard, or maybe a potential mud issue in spring. So I would bear that in mind when you're coming to visit this trail. Might bump the ankle buster scale up to about a 1.5. It's still pretty flat and broad in places, but you'll be doing some creative hopping. It is rather pretty. I guess as long as you're not having to walk through it. See how thin that is. Just like a piece of glass is what it looks like. That's a satisfying sound. All right, let's see if we can get through this. And made it. Wow. That is so neat. Deep breaths wise, I can still hear the road, but you're going to see lots of nature while you're here. So 2.5, 3 is what I would give this. The trail itself does have some unique photography aspects to it in winter with the ice and snow. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily give it more than a 2, but with that asterisk that in wintertime, this can be pretty fun and neat to come and photograph up close. All the patterns that are on the ice. Now, one of the things that I remember reading about here is that it's kind of a crisscrossing network of trails that all together cover about 1.7 miles. So there's a bunch of different directions that you're going to be able to go in. Apparently, you used to be able to go this way. I mean, you can see from the blue on those trees over there that there's paths that's supposed to cut through, but there's no way to get to them going this way. I mean, you'd be going right through these sheets of ice. Incredible. So we may not be able to take full advantage of these trails because of the winter weather. I don't know. I mean, I can kind of get close. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to go that way. Okay, I made it across. I found a spot over there where the water was really shallow and really short. So I hopped across and I found more trail. Now, here's an interesting puzzle. Over or under? I think I'm gonna head this way. This seems like it's the easiest way to get around. We go with under. Okay. Oh. Heron Loop, but it says danger. Well, it doesn't look too dangerous. Let's find out. This is kind of creepy, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Just saw some sign that said danger spray painted on. This is quite an adventure today. Hey, we found another sign. I thought that pine was going to be the only one, but there's also some balsam fir. Yeah. It's a tiny one. All right, well, that's a good sign. Huh. I've got my boots on, but it looks like it gets pretty deep in the middle there. It's a little slick. All right, I'm gonna try to find a way around. I think we found a way. If at first you don't succeed, get stuck in the bushes. Now the fun part is I'm gonna have to get back to the car eventually. Are we at a dead end? I don't know. This looks like it's laid out some. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. So it's a trail, I guess. I mean, I'm following a path. It's not very well maintained. But then again, I am coming in the middle of winter. All right. Look at that. That's so neat. There are places where I've had to walk where I'm basically skirting the edges of these thin sheets of ice, and it's really cool sounding. There are lots of birds around here too, except I tend to spook them, and by the time I turn the camera on, they've all flown away. But this is the path. It's just covered in a paper thin sheet of ice, and there's no other way for me to go forward than to walk on it. Oh wow, this might be the end for me. I don't know that I'll be able to go any further. It's beautiful. It's so weird, but beautiful. Oh! There's another piece of the ice that I'm walking on. I don't want that to be me. Unfortunately, this is about as far as I can go. It's too bad because I do see that the trail continues. I can just see a little bit of orange from one of those little pieces of ribbon material that they tie to trees over there, letting me know the path continues, but this is as far as I can go. It's way too deep. It gets a little too marshy, even though I am wearing my boots. That's a little too much, I think. Uh-oh, that's not good. There's a sign down there, but there's another sign replacing it. That way to Route 140. And I'm assuming that this was up. This does say over to Cross Street, which is that way. I imagine it probably goes like that. There. Fix that for you. Let's head to 140. Well, I found a way back out to 140 instead of having to cross over that swamp. So it brought me back out to the road again. A perfect, beautiful time of day here on Route 140. Well, that's going to do it for this adventure. We had a lot of fun. We kind of got lost in the woods over there for a little bit, crossed over some swamp, in the middle of winter. Got to see some paper thin sheets of ice everywhere. Followed the Whitney Brook trail. Got to see Paul Bunyan's footsteps. Sit in a big Adirondack chair. All together, I'd say it's a pretty good day. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. New videos post every Tuesday and Thursday. Join us next time when we answer the question, where will the journey take us?